Hello, welcome to Black Economics TV. Today we have with us Dr. Cynthia Simmons. She lives in America and she's talking to us about her life, her experiences with health issues and with the healthcare in America, and giving us some motivation as to how we can get through particular challenges that we go through in life. She's written 2 books. One is out already. I think another one is due to come out soon, and she will tell us a little bit about those later on. She's also an international speaker. She came from the stable of Les Brown's speaking fraternity, so to speak, and she has been talking to people from around the world about her life and how people can make the best of their life. So let's talk to Dr. Cynthia Simmons. Thank you for being here, Dr. Cynthia.
Thank you for having me. I feel blessed and honored to be on your show.
Oh, it's nice to have you. Please introduce yourself and tell us what it is that you do at the moment.
So my name is Cynthia Never Give Up Simmons. That's what a lot of people know me by Cynthia Never Give Up. They'll often introduce me on stage, Cynthia Never Give Up Simmons. And I am a doctor, an honorary doctorate of philosophy from Cornerstone Christian University. And I pride myself in that. I live in the Seattle area, Seattle, Washington. And we met via the clubhouse.
That's right.
And yeah, the kids will call me sometimes and they'll be like, "Mom, I called you. Was you at the club again?" They're like, "You're always at the club, Mom." And, so we met on Clubhouse. I spent a lot of time on Clubhouse. And so I'm very blessed and honored that you reached out to me and invited me to come and be part of your show.
Oh, and thank you for accepting, because not everybody says yes, Okay, so tell me about your early life, your childhood, and things that you went through as a child.
So my mother is German. My father is American. They met, my dad was stationed in Europe and he met my mother there. And I was born in Ohio. I was raised in both countries, back and forth. It was a constant back and forth. And I married at a very young age, at 18, and had 3 children by the age of 22. But found myself a single parent. Even though I was married, I was a single parent the majority of that time. And I moved out here to Washington State in the early 90s, 90, 91, where my mother is and my stepfather. And I've been out here ever since. I remarried, had another child at the age of 36. And so I've been out here. And working out here, I'd been working out here quite a few years. Most of my life, I worked in the medical arena. And it was in about 2003 when I started feeling very tired, very exhausted. And I thought, oh, maybe this has something to do with having a child so late in life and trying to, work full time and run behind a baby. And but lo and behold, I had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And the strange thing was when I went through my divorce, I was also diagnosed with cancer at that time. It was cervical cancer. So I've had 4 different cancers that I've battled with. But so I moved out here to Washington State early on, and like I said, my mom is German, my dad is American, raised here in the States and in Germany, being part of a military life. We travel a lot, and
Okay, so your German must be good then, since you spent quite a bit of time in Germany.
Yeah, fluent. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well,
my mom only, my mother never spoke German with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
She never did. It was, you hear it so much and you're around it so much. My grandmother did, all the rest of the family did. and of course, being in Germany, you have no choice when you're downtown or whatever. So yeah, she never did when I was growing up. She would always speak English to me.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah.
So the first time you were diagnosed with cancer, how old were you then?
I was 29. I just turned 30, and I was going through a divorce.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. And again, it's that all of a sudden, the feeling tired, something's wrong. I don't, and it's because your body's fighting something, that's where that exhaustion comes from. But I went through treatment. I had 6 months of treatment. I had surgery. I went through treatment, and I really just, waved it off as whatever. It's almost like putting it out with the rest of the trash. I was going through a divorce. I was like, I'm just going to put that out with the rest of the trash. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but I'm going to tell you that the one thing I do believe is that stress is the #1 killer.
Oh, wow.
Stress is every time I've gone through stressful events in my life, that's when these cancers seem to go, hey, yeah. And so I think, people really need to be cautious, and it's with heart disease. It doesn't matter what illness it is, but the body will react when it goes through stress.
So we've got to come up with stress reducing mechanisms.
Yeah, it's called create your own job and sleep on the beach and go live on the beach and find sunshine.
If only we could all do that, that'd be wonderful.
Be stranded on an island where you don't need money or anything. You could just go be free.
Yeah, that sounds good. Sounds ideal. Okay, so the first cancer, you were able to beat that, and then a few years later, you were diagnosed with breast cancer. How did you feel about that?
So here's the thing with that. I had found a lump under my armpit, almost to my back, while I was showering, and I went to see my doctor. And he said to me, "Oh, Cynthia, you're not even 40 yet. It's not time for a mammogram. You just had a child. It's probably residual from breastfeeding. You worry too much." I was 38. And, and it kept getting larger and larger. And every time I would bring it up to him, he was like, "Stop stressing and worrying about it. It's nothing. You don't have a family history. We can't do a mammogram. Insurance is not going to pay for that."
Wow.
And so at the age of 40, now when they will pay for a mammogram, and now when I said, this thing is getting larger. And he said, "Would it make you feel better if we go have an ultrasound on it?" And I said, I think so. I think we should check it, because I believed him. He's a doctor. I actually used to work for that group. That's what was the worst part, is I used to work for that whole group of doctors. And so they sent me to have an ultrasound, and I go through the ultrasound. This big black golf ball looking thing pops up, and then all of a sudden we need to do emergency biopsies and blah, blah, blah. And needless to say, it came back, and it was invasive ductal carcinoma, breast cancer. And I ended up having a mastectomy and going through the chemo and the radiation treatment. And due to that illness, at that time, I was working for the city. And due to that illness and the massive treatments, because treatment is hard, it's hard. You don't feel good. You're sick. Your hair's falling out. Radiation is just as bad, causes exhaustion, and you're going through these surgeries. The job that I had decided, well, you can't be here, and we need somebody that can be here, and so we're going to have to let you go.
Oh, no.
And so I lost my job due to that cancer. And once I got through that cancer, I thought, you know what? I'm never going outside the medical arena again. They will understand if I get sick. You know what I mean? Because this is what they do. That's why they have a job. They'll understand if I get sick.
Mm.
And so I got well from the breast cancer, and I went back to work, and I got a job working in the OR.
Okay.
And I started to get really, really sick again.
Oh.
And they thought that the breast cancer had spread to the lungs and the liver, and it was just like everywhere. And they kept grasping at straws like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's not breast cancer. Oh, it's not lung cancer. Oh, it's not. And they couldn't figure it out. And I'm getting sicker and sicker by the day, and they can't figure out what's wrong. It took them about a year to diagnose me, and it was Langerhans cell histiocytosis, which is very rare. There is no known cure. There's no known cause. There wasn't a doctor in Washington State that had knowledge of it or could treat me for it.
Wow.
And so my doctors are saying to me, you know what? Let's just watch it and see what happens. And I was like, dude, you can watch it all you want to. I'll be moving on to another doctor.
Yeah.
Because I mean, who says that? It's like, oh, so you don't know what it is, but so you just want to watch it. Well, if it was your sister, your mom, your would you have that same attitude? Let's just watch it.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And so I ended up going through a lot of doctors, and I found some doctors out of state that were studying it and doing research on it.
Mm.
And I was then thrown into research protocol treatment.
Oh, okay.
And it was both lungs, my liver, my spleen, left ovary, hip bone, ankle bone, the lenses in both eyes. It ate holes in the mastoid and temporal bone of my skull. And October 10th of 2009, they set me down and they looked right at me and they said, Cynthia, it's not good. You have multi-vital organ involvement with very poor prognosis, at best 6 months.
Mm.
And the hospital fired me.
Really?
So now I've lost my second job due to a cancer and illness. And, I'm just going, what is happening to me? It was so crazy. Every time I would get a great job, I would get this cancer to, come along, and then I'm going through treatments, massive treatments, and they're like, well, we're going to have to let you go. So.
Oh, wow. It's just adding to your stress. Oh, no.
It really did add to the stress. But, I soon discovered that, these things were all part of a plan. They really were, because I'm going to tell you, Dawn, the day I came home, when that doctor said to me, you've got 6 months, that day when I came home, I was sitting downstairs and I was looking out the window and I was watching these 2 squirrels playing in the yard, running around the tree. And I watched them and I thought, geez, look how happy they are. You know what I mean? They're so happy. And nobody's ever going to say to them, you have cancer. Nobody's ever going to tell them, hey, did you make your house payment? Is the insurance up to date on the car?
Yeah.
These squirrels have nothing, zero to worry about. Look how happy they are.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not even looking for, hey, do we have enough money to get some groceries? The food is provided to them. The shelter is provided to them. All they do all day is play and go find nuts, to hide in the ground. It's like, yes. And while I'm sitting there, I see this oak leaf fall from the tree. And it was like I heard a whisper in my ear. Cynthia, do you see that oak leaf? It just served its purpose. Everything that has life has purpose.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what? First of all, I didn't know who is this whispering in my ear? And it's just this thought came as if God planted something. And I thought about it and I thought, oh, wow. So that leaf blossomed in the spring of its life, just like we do. We develop and we blossom in the spring of our life. It provided its purpose in the summer of its life, just like we do, right? You blossom and you bloom, and then you go into the summer of your life, which are the best years of your life. And that's when you're really you, right? This beautiful life that you have and providing your purpose. And then in the fall and winter of its life, this oak leaf broke off the branch and went back into the ground from where it all started. Just like we do. And I was like, oh, I gotta find my purpose. So I'm working these jobs that are not my purpose. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And a lot of people don't like to hear me say, cancer was a blessing for me. It closed doors that should have never been opened because I was on the wrong path. And this is why I tell people, I'm just the messenger. I went through these things to remain here, to come back and tell you and your listeners, there's purpose. You have a purpose. And you must uncover what that purpose is. There is something you are supposed to be doing. You have a calling on your life. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're supposed to be a doctor. Maybe you're supposed to be an author. Maybe you're supposed to invent something. Maybe you're going to discover something. I mean, if we look at some of these people that are in this world today, look at Bill Gates or look at Bezos or some of these people and what has happened and their purpose in this world and how it changed this world, right? And so we all have a purpose. And our responsibility while we're here is to find out, what is that purpose? What am I here to do? What am I here for? And to share it with the rest of us. So I'm just the messenger to tell you.
How did you find out your purpose?
Well, by going through these cancers and discovering that I'm not supposed to be at a job. I'm supposed to be talking to people about these struggles that I've gone through. And what I say is, from tragedy to triumph, struggle to success, my test became my testimony. And so a lot of times when people go through struggles in their life, right, they're like, oh God, and this, and it's so bad, and it's so this. But look at, what are you learning from that? What can you take away from that moment or that time that can be turned to a positive? That perhaps what I'm going through right now, even if it is a failed relationship, a divorce, even if, because you can say there was something there that I can take away as a learning lesson. And it could be to not date somebody who's abusive. It could be to, always find somebody that makes you laugh. Or there's different things that we learn in our life, right, from different people and different scenarios and different situations. But most people don't take those. They don't take those learning lessons. They continue to create and have the same failures or mistakes in their life because they don't look back at whatever they just went through as a lesson.
Are there particular things that you do in order to ensure that you live in a healthy lifestyle so that these things don't recur again?
So my number one thing, and if I have anything today that someone is going to take from this is going to be my number one thing. Mindset is the onset to all things you will ever achieve in life. So let's take a person with cancer. And let's say they're going out and I call you, you're my friend, and I say to you, Dawn, don't worry about this. I got this. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to fight this. I'm saying that to my children. I'm saying that to you. But when I lay down at night, what am I saying to Cynthia? Am I saying in my own head, oh my God, I'm so scared. Oh my God, am I going to get through this? Oh my God, am I really going to fight this? Am I really going to die? Am I going to die from this? So I'm telling everybody else, right? I got this. But what I'm saying to myself is completely contradictory to what I'm telling others. And that's the most important person you can talk to is you. Because let me tell you, your body and your mind is listening when you talk to you. That stuff you say to other people, that's just like right now I'm having a conversation with you. But when I lay down and I close my eyes and my brain is hearing me talk to me, that's what it's taking in.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So have you looked at things like diet, the things that you eat?
You know, here's the thing. No, I have not. A simple answer is no, I have not. And a lot of people won't like to hear this. And a lot of doctors don't like to hear this. And I will tell you, Dawn, in my chart, in my medical records, patient is non-compliant. Patient is non-compliant.
Really?
I am just, because I'm an advocate for Cynthia.
You're doing your own thing.
I will take some of the things that they say to me. You know, okay, let's do treatment. Okay, then, and then they'll say, we need you to take this medication. I'm like, I'm not taking that medication. That medication says right on it, you know, after I've gone through treatment and everything, I've done all my chemo, and I'm like, that medication says right on it that it could cause another cancer, blah, blah, blah. And I said, tell me, so what would it be then? It would be, oh, well, we helped you get through the breast cancer. Sorry about the ovarian cancer, though. I said, so I'm not taking a medication that, number one, I'm not even in menopause. So you're giving me a medication that is for women who have already gone into menopause. And then you're telling me to take this for, you know, the next 5 years after my treatment. And it says right there, can cause other cancers. Why would I do that? Wow. And so I would pick and choose my battles. Yeah. And I became an advocate for myself. And so, you know, in my chart, it says all the time, patient is non-compliant, patient's non-compliant. It's not that I'm non-compliant. It's that every person is not the same. Every person cannot be treated the same. You understand what I mean? It's like, we can't all, that protocol treatment might be great for Susie, but perhaps it doesn't work for Cynthia. Because we are individuals, we're different people with different bodies, different minds, right? Different thoughts and processes. And so I did change a few things in my life. The most important thing to do, though, is get rid of stress.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. Do you think healthcare departments really know how to deal with cancer?
You know, somebody asked me one time, do you ever think they'll find a cure? And my short answer to that is no. I don't think so. They've been looking for a cure for a long time. What they do now is they treat symptoms. I think it will be one of those things that will forever in life we will be treating. Yeah. You know, and I think this COVID thing is kind of going to be the same. It's going to be one of those things that they're forever in life going to treat symptoms of. Cancer is the same way. There's not going to be a cure, but they're getting better at treating symptoms or having longevity based on what they have to treat those symptoms. So a cure, I would hope that everything in me that would be a possibility. But do I think it's ever going to happen? I think we're going to learn how to do better about treating symptoms, getting to a quicker diagnosis. The advancements in technology are helping that. But as far as completely eradicating cancer, this has been going on for, thousands of years, hundreds and thousands of years. I just don't foresee it, especially within my generation, happening.
Okay, because things like chemo and radiation are quite harsh on the body, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty tough. And it's a personal choice. It really is. It is a personal choice, for a person to say, is that what I want to do? Do I want to put that in? Because here's the thing, when COVID happened, it was amazing to me that, here I had a job, I'm diagnosed with cancer, I lose my job because of cancer. And then here we have COVID come, people are getting sick, they're being diagnosed with COVID, and they're losing their job. I've already been down this avenue. You know what I mean? Losing a job because of an illness. Everybody's losing their job right now because of COVID. They can't go to work. Factories are shutting down, whatever the reason is. And so, it's one of those things that I think we need to learn from, the cancer and even the COVID, of what's happening right now, and the treatments for those, because my children didn't want to take the vaccine. I took it right away. And I said to my kids, I said, it's amazing to me, when your mother was battling cancer, you said, Mom, you got to go to chemo. Mom, you just got to do the treatments. Mom, you got to do the radiation. You just got to. And I said, even though I'm puking my guts up, my hair's falling out, I can't walk, I've lost my job now because of this treatment. And so it's obvious that whatever they're putting into me during chemo, my body is reacting like, when you're throwing up like that, something must be really wrong in that medicine that they're giving you. And your hair is falling out all over your body, right? But nobody thinks about that when they're thinking about this vaccine that they have for COVID. Nobody's hair is falling out. Nobody's puking their guts out. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is unable to stand on their feet like when you're going through cancer treatment. Yet people are refusing. Well, it could have some harsh effects. It could, yeah. Look at cancer treatment one time. You want to talk about harsh effects? Look at cancer treatment. Go through one session of cancer treatment and see how you feel. That vaccine, I haven't had anything. I got both shots, nothing. Because I almost like prepared myself. I was almost scared because I thought, oh, geez, what is this going to do to my body? Is it going to make something like the monster wake up? You know what I mean? The monster that's been so quiet for so long now. Nothing.
Okay. So the doctor gave you 6 months to live. And how long ago was that then? What year was
it? October 10th, 2009.
Oh, wow.
And my exact words to him was, you be the doctor and let God be the timekeeper. I said, I could walk out of this office and get hit by a car. And you said I had 6 months and I died in 6 minutes. So I just don't believe, and Dawn, I don't know what your beliefs are. And I don't push God off on people, but it's like people need to just stop and think for a moment. How many people could have possibly been in the Twin Towers in New York that have been given a cancer diagnosis?
Mm.
Even though they could have already been through it,
Mm.
could have been actively in treatment for it. How many people were in those Twin Towers when they came down that have been diagnosed with cancer or heart disease or diabetes or HIV? Something that they thought in their mind, oh Lord, this illness is going to kill me. But it didn't. They were in a building that collapsed to the ground at no fault of their own. And they're no longer here. You know, it's just like down in Vegas, they had a concert down there. And some crazy man from Mandalay Bay aims a gun out a window and shoots into the crowd and kills all of these people at this concert. How many people were standing in that crowd that maybe had been diagnosed with cancer or heart disease or any other ailment that they thought would take their lives? And so at the end of the day, I want people to understand that life is precious every day.
Yeah.
You don't have to be diagnosed with an illness to start appreciating life.
Yeah.
And that's really what the message is, Dawn. It's, we need to start living our best lives and looking at other people and wrapping our arms around other people and reaching out to help those who need a little more help. You know, when my kids were growing up, I used to tell them, when you walk down the street, I want you to look at people and I want you to pretend somebody has turned them inside out. So when we go to biology class in school, right, you know the book, the one that shows the guy with the muscles and all the ligaments and the tendons, and you can see the ribs. He's turned inside out. We see that in the book, right? The biology book.
Yeah, yeah.
And I used to tell my kids, when you walk down the street, that's how I want, when you see someone, I want you to picture them coming towards you like that. Because then we don't know the race. We don't know the ethnicity, right? We don't know anything. All we know is here's a human being. Help them. Ask them, do they need help? Say hi, be kind. But just look at people as if they're turned inside out. And we need to be better to each other in this world. Absolutely. We need to be kinder.
Okay. Tell us about your book, your first book.
So my first book, A Breast Cancer Notification, which is on Amazon. I wrote it in about 2007, 2008. I didn't put it on Amazon until last year. It was just a PDF that I had on my computer, and everybody kept saying, why don't you put it out there? So I did. I put it out there. What the book is about is my children, my husband, my family, my friends, my coworkers. I received a breast cancer notification. I then was responsible to go tell others that were close to me. And so it's a breast cancer notification, the emotional details that others don't tell you. The hardest part of my cancer was not the battle that I was facing. It was the battle that my children were facing, and my husband and my family and friends, of losing a mother, a wife, a sister. That's what hurt me, was what it was doing to them. It was my bigger pain, what it was causing those around me to go through. And so that's what that book is about. It's a breast cancer notification, the emotional details that others don't tell you. So, you know, hearing my daughter scream bloody murder, you know, running down the hallway, who's going to be there when I get married? What about when I have kids? that's the hurtful stuff.
Oh.
That's the hurtful. So that's what that book is about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you were able to share that, because that's not something that you will normally see people talk about or write about. So thank you for doing that. And your second book, what's that one about?
So the second book is titled, I Won't Fire Me. And it's because I was fired from 2 jobs because of cancer. I would never fire me.
Have they? No compassion.
And yeah, I'm just like, what? You're gonna fire me? Me, like the most committed, dedicated, I have integrity. I show up when others don't want to, when they need somebody to come in and work extra hours. And
So they
people
don't.
were like, nah. I
was.
was the one. I'm like, so I'm writing this book that Les Brown is writing the foreword to, titled, I Won't Fire Me. And it really is about now. I've been doing this now since 2010, 11. I'm not going to fire me. I love Cynthia. She shows up every time I ask her. Every time I ask her to do something, she's there. It's like, I would never fire me. I'm so committed to the task at hand. It's like crazy. So that's what it's about, though. It's about, losing a job, and the reason I lost those jobs, and that I would never fire myself.
So basically you are now, you're running a business now.
An entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So you are the boss as well as the employee, and you're definitely not going to be turning on yourself to fire yourself. Good for you.
Yeah. And if I show up a few minutes late as the employee, and the boss part, I'm like, okay, I understand. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah. So the boss and the employee get along good.
Yeah. So when is that book out?
It's taking a while to get this done. And I think it's probably going to be 2022, late 2022.
Okay.
Because I really want to put everything into it. You know what I mean? And yeah.
So tell me about your children. What do they do? How are they must be so happy to know that Mummy's around for a much longer time than they thought.
Yeah, these are the most amazing human beings. And sometimes I pinch myself and I go, really? Did I do that? Oh. That's another reason why I wouldn't fire Cynthia. It's like, look, she's pretty good at making stuff. My daughter, like I was saying earlier, is a police officer. So my children are biracial. They're half African American, and they are the most amazing human beings. One of my boys, so I have 4. Nico is the oldest, and then Junior is the next one, and then Letitia is my only girl, and then Javon is the baby. And so they all individually, Javon is still at home because he just got out of college, but he's thinking about going back and doing some more. He's going to be one of those people that forever, I just want to stay home and stay in school forever.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to have to go get the job and leave, even though he does want to leave. My daughter is a police officer. Look, I got 3 boys, and the daughter decides to be a police officer.
Wow.
My oldest one was in the Navy. He's out of the Navy now. He's a disabled veteran. Oh. The other one played professional football, and now he has his own business and things that he does. And so, yeah, they're all very, very loud and very boisterous.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. How old's the eldest?
He will be 40 on the 5th of this month.
All right. Oh my.
5th of November. Yeah, we're already.
Oh, that's nice. So how does the policewoman, how does she manage? You know?
It can be difficult for her. She's a female.
Mm,
She's African American,
mm,
and she's a cop.
mm,
And so, I think sometimes female cops have a hard way to go
mm,
because maybe their counterparts look at them as, you can't take him down. You're not as strong as me, because you're not a man, or that you can't handle a situation like I can handle a situation, or that her race would cause her maybe to take a different attitude at a event that's happening,
mm,
because of who she is. So it has not been easy for her,
mm.
but she loves what she does and she wouldn't trade it for anything.
Oh, that's great. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I worry about her. My son was in the military, and she was a cop, and I told him, I said, look, son, I worry about you, but you know who the enemy is. She doesn't know who the enemy is.
Mm,
It could be a very nice looking woman in a suit and high heels
mm,
that she just pulled over, and this woman could have just murdered her husband. And who would think that she's going to pull a gun on a police officer, right?
yeah.
So I just always feel like when my daughter is at work, she doesn't know who the enemy is.
Mm.
And it's different than military personnel who are out there fighting and they know who the enemy is.
And with the proliferation of guns that a lot of people seem to have in America, which is different to here,
Yeah.
There's danger all over the place, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
It's, that's how it was in Germany too, growing up. It wasn't something that we thought of. We didn't worry about guns.
Mm. Mm.
Guns just weren't like an issue
Yeah.
when I was in Europe.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Well, give my best wishes to your children. I'm sure that they're
Thank you.
very happy that mummy's around and will be around for a long time, and that you are doing the things you want to do. Are you coaching? Are you public
I
speaking?
do have a course. I have a course that I do. It's called Creating the Perfect Blend. I am a coffee fanatic. I love my coffee. And it has nothing to do with Seattle Starbucks.
Okay.
I just love coffee. I grew up, in Europe, it's different.
Yeah.
I was drinking coffee at 5 years old,
Mm-hmm.
in Germany. It's just what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love coffee, and yeah, I forgot where I was going with this whole.
So do you meet people for coffee, or are you selling coffee?
I do, and I have a coffee business that I do. I have a course. That's what I was going to tell you. I have a course called Creating the Perfect Blend.
Oh, wow.
So like coffee, you might like a latte, and I might like, a mocha. It's whatever. And in business, it's the same way. Maybe what's good for you, if you want to be an author or a speaker, for someone else, they might want to get into affiliate marketing or Bitcoin. So it's creating that perfect business for you. What is the best business for you?
Well, I think that's brilliant. If it's something that you really enjoy, then spend time doing it. So you have a coffee business and you meet people for coffee, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds really good. Well, I think it's been really good to talk to you. I don't know if there's anything else that I haven't asked. Are you interested in putting out there?
So if anyone wants to contact me, I do have a website, The Cancer Biz, B-I-Z, thecancerbiz.com.
Okay.
And they're more than welcome to reach out to me. I'm always looking for stages to get on. And my book is on Amazon, A Breast Cancer Notification. And emailing me is really simple. Sometimes when I tell the story, it makes people remember it. I tried to get a Gmail account with my name, Cynthia Simmons at Gmail. Didn't work. Taken. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see. I was born in January. Cynthia Simmons 01. Taken. I was born in 1963. Okay, Cynthia Simmons 63 at Gmail. Taken. I'm like, you guys don't get it. This is the Cynthia Simmons. I am the Cynthia Simmons. Oh, that's available.
Makes it
So
very
it
easy
is.
to remember.
It is the Cynthia Simmons at gmail.com.
Okay, fantastic. Very easy to remember. Thank you
I
so much.
always have to tell that story because people are like, what? I couldn't get anything with Cynthia Simmons.
What are your ultimate goals now? What do you want to ensure that you achieve over the next few years?
I want to get my book completed. I want to be on more stages, sharing my story and inspiring people to never give up, that no matter what's happening in life, there's a reason. There's a reason. And you have to take this and find what is the reason this happened. There's a learning experience in everything, no matter how tragic it is. It can even be the death of a family member. But sometimes there's something that there's a purpose. Yeah. There's a purpose.
Absolutely. I agree entirely. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. You're an inspiration, and I hope that people will find what you said helpful for them in their own lives and their own journey. Thank you, Dr. Cynthia Simmons.
Thank you, Dawn. Thank you for inviting me, sweetie. It's been a pleasure.
I'll put your contact details under the video, so anybody who wants to speak with you, they can find you, or if they go on Clubhouse, I'm sure they can find you on there as well.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, if anyone has ever battled or heard of Langerhans cell histiocytosis, I do a show on a room on Clubhouse, and I am with the Histio Foundation and Association to help people, doctors, and other patients who are having a hard time or don't know about the illness and are looking for information on the illness, and can come and share their story there too. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, for histio awareness. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put that detail underneath as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. You take care.